Hello and welcome to the layers of the Earth. Starting at the very top, as you can see, we have the surface. It is composed of the crust. That's where we live. That's where the oceans are, all the continents, all that kind of thing are up there on the crust. The next section includes the crust and goes down a little ways is the lithosphere. Now the lithosphere is the part that's broken into plates. Okay, it's very rigid, broken into plates. We'll get into that. The next section is called the asthenosphere, and technically it is also known as the upper mantle because there is the mantle that goes all the way down to here. That whole thing is the mantle, but it's broken into at least two parts, the asthenosphere, upper mantle, and lower mantle. Below that, we have the outer core, and below that, the inner core, right down to the center of the Earth. For a little bit closer up view, we have a couple new layers here that we'll get to, but again we have the Earth's crust right there, right up here, which is of course the oceans and the continents and all that. You'll notice that there is some ocean crust they're showing us down there, and some continental crust they're showing us, and you should see that the ocean crust is very thin, whereas the continental crust is much thicker. You also have the lithosphere, which is that whole section. You transition into the asthenosphere, and then into the lower mantle. The parts that are new are, one, the Mohorovicic discontinuity, right in here, and it's right below the crust. It's right there in the crust, and it's a place where seismic waves, earthquake waves, behave differently. The other one where seismic waves behave differently is down here right between the lower mantle and the outer core, and it is the Gutenberg discontinuity. Because then below that you have, of course, the outer core, then the inner core. Notice these here. These are convection currents, and this is what is thought to drive plate tectonics. Hot material rises, moves across, cools, and then dives back down again, causing kind of a conveyor belt of things moving in opposite directions, which pushes things apart and pushes some things together at this convergent boundary where we have a subducting plate right there. Closer up view, we have the thinnest section, which is the ocean crust. We have your Mohorovicic discontinuity in here, right there. You have the continental crust, which is thicker because it is less dense. The lithosphere right here, which is rigid. It's broken into plates that move around. The asthenosphere through here, and on this one they've broken it up into its two major parts, but we don't have to worry about that. What we need to know is this is where these convection currents happen, where we have hot material rising, cooling, and then dropping again, hot material rising, cooling, and dropping again, which can cause these broken plates to move in opposite directions and do all sorts of things. Now we have our vocabulary. Over here, I'm going to go through all these, and then I'm going to grab one of these guys and match them up. Let's see if you can do it before I do as we move along. So, the layer, I'm starting at the top. The layer composed of all the land and oceans. The layer composed of all the land and oceans. Layer composed of all the land. That is the crust. Next, the thinnest section. Which one of these on the left is the thinnest section? The ocean crust. Yes, yes. Now, the section of partially melted rock where the convection currents happen. Where is the convection currents going on? That is in the asthenosphere. Next, we have the very center of Earth and is solid, What chunk is at the center of the Earth? The inner core. The layer on which the crust sits and is broken into pieces called plates. That's a big clue. Pieces called plates. The lithosphere. What's the overall thickest section? The thickest section of the Earth. The mantle. The liquid part of the Earth's center. Outer core. Then we have our two discontinuities between the crust and the lithosphere is the Mohorovičić. And finally, the Gutenberg is between the mantle and the outer core. Well, I hope that helped. Hope you can do that, and if you want to, you can run through it again. And good luck with everything. Well done.